Yeah, you know what?
Atolls are circular, oval, or horseshoe-shaped arrays of coral reef islands that are perched around an oceanic, volcanic seamount and encircle a shallow central lagoon. The small islands are separated from each other by channels that lead from the sea into the central lagoon.
An atoll is thought to begin as living corals colonize and build a fringing reef on the flanks of a seamount or volcano. Over time, as the volcano cools and becomes denser, it gradually sinks below the sea surface. The corals, whose symbiotic algae require light to grow, continue to build the reef upward towards the sea surface, maintaining the top of the reef in the photic zone. The reef gradually becomes separated from the subsiding island by a lagoon, thus forming a barrier reef. Eventually, the cold volcano sinks so far that it disappears beneath the surface, leaving behind the characteristic ring-shaped reef surrounding a central lagoon. Thus, atolls are built on thick layers of dead coral reefs.
Atolls can vary greatly in size, ranging from quite small to over 130 kilometers long and 32 kilometers wide. Atoll islands are typically low-lying with elevations of less than 5 meters. Because atoll formation requires coral reef building, atolls are limited to tropical waters. Atolls are most commonly found in the Pacific and Indian Oceans.
The lagoon inside an atoll has water that is differently colored from the oceans surrounding it, because the water on the outer ocean-facing side of the reef remains a healthy marine ecosystem. Corals on the inner lagoon-facing side, however, begin to slowly decay. The algae that corals need to survive face much more competition for fewer nutrient resources. The limestone decays, changing the color of the lagoon from deep ocean blue to bright teal. The isolated nature of atolls provides an interesting opportunity for human use, whether that be nuclear testing or a popular tourist destination. Also, ships crash into them.
Charles Darwin was one of the first people to think about the origins of coral atolls. He saw them during his voyage across the Pacific, and based on his observations, figured out an explanation for how they form. Darwin realized that coral atolls demonstrate the slow process of geological change. Atolls are also proof that the Earth is very old. The fact that there are atolls at many different stages in the Earth's oceans shows how long the process of atoll formation and degradation takes. There are 23 islands in the Bikini Atoll, 3 of which were vaporized during nuclear tests. The islands are composed of low coral limestone and sand. Human beings have inhabited the Bikini Atoll for about 3,600 years. Between 1946 and 1958, 23 nuclear devices were detonated by the United States at 7 test sites located on the reef, inside the atoll, in the air, or underwater. Building on this attention, French engineer Louis Réard named his new swimsuit design the Bikini, in hopes that its revealing style would create an explosive commercial and cultural reaction, similar to the 1946 nuclear explosion at Bikini Atoll.